So how do we do this? How do we identify and embrace our true selves? A couple of people who I met before the event started joked with me, are you going to convince me to leave my job? I don't want to give the impression that you have to leave the law or your profession as an accountant or any of that. Maybe for one or two of you, that will eventually be your story too. But there are small things that we can do every day to make sure that we really show up as ourselves. So I have 5 tips to share. And the first one is to know yourself. When I was making the decision to leave my firm, this dream that I had worked 20 years to obtain, I had to take a really long, hard, ugly look in the mirror and think about who I was and what was important to me. Now, I asked myself questions like, who am I? What am I all about? And the words that immediately came to mind were, well, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a law firm partner, you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a friend. And then I quickly realized one of those things is not like the other, because law firm partner is a title. That is not an identity. And unfortunately, I had lost so much of myself in my job that I didn't know who I was anymore. And that was really scary. I thought back to a senior seminar that I took in college. And it was a very small class, there were only 12 of us in it, maybe 15. And I vividly remember, again, one day walking into the room, and we had this U-shaped table that we would sit at as a small group, and there were these little strips of paper, like a little pile, a little haystack at our desk. And I picked up mine and I started looking through them, and I saw, oh, these are values, because there were words like respect, family, faith, integrity, charity, so on, so forth. And the professor led us through this exercise, and there were probably about 24 values where we had to start taking them away to see if we can go down to 5, to 4, 3, 2, and maybe 1, identifying our core values. When I was deciding whether to leave practice, I did this again, and you could just Google values, right? And I'm going through it, and I remember the professor saying, at different points in your life, you will choose differently. So think about what you choose now as you start your career. Side note here, that class was probably spring of 2002, if not fall 2001, my senior year. So literally 20 years ago. And the name of that class was Women in the Workplace. I think it's pretty interesting that that was the exercise that we were completing. So I did that, and I realized who I was. I had redefined myself. I knew the values in the order that mattered to me. And what's important when you figure out who you are is you then know who you aren't and what doesn't matter to you as much. And you can start to realize, am I always myself in certain situations, or are there times when I'm not myself? Are there people that maybe I'm not myself around? And that can be just as powerful. That's the first step to identifying your authentic self.